It's that time again. So listen, I finally am just going to break it all down why Jennifer Aydin and I are not friends anymore. Everyone wants to hear that story. Let me just get it out and let's move on. I really don't like talking about myself. Which housewives it involved, and of course, Kim doesn't let it go and has 1,000 questions for me. But the real great thing this week, I find, in addition to breaking down what happened this past week on the show, Kim just spoke to Dolores. So Dolores and Kim had a phone call because they're friends. And Dolores recalls to Kim that she just had a phone call this week with Jennifer Aydin. So what did Jennifer tell Dolores on the phone about the status of their friendship? And what was Dolores' response? And Kim, does Dolores know you're sharing that here today with all these Behind the Velvet Rope listeners? So we break all that down today over on Patreon. I'm obsessed with this phone call between Jennifer and Dolores, and Kim now just telling us all this here today. But here are a few little clips, and we do talk about the show this week also, guys. So listen to these clips and head on over to Patreon. Are you having coffee? Are you having wine? Are you having your martini? Happy Saturday.
Now, David, today is kind of all about you because we've been dying to know, even though I know, but I love hearing the story again. I want to know what happened between you and Jennifer Aydin, even though I know, but I want everybody else to know. And I want to remember some things that maybe we didn't go over. So tell me what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure I ever told you. Now, here's the thing. You know how I hate to talk about myself. Really, I really don't have any interest in discussing this, but
I know that.
These people are here and, they deserve it. And I promise them, listen, let me just start by prefacing three things. One, I, like you, just tell the truth. I just tell the truth. So I'm going to give you the facts. There's no angle. I'm not trying to prove anything. I don't even care all the different stories and sides of this. This is exactly 100% like you. Like, listen, people listen to you here every week, Kim, and whether they love you or they hate you, they at least are like, she speaks the truth. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, correct. They might not like what I say, but I do say the truth. They might think I'm a bit of a mean girl, but I'm too bad. And maybe I am. I don't know. Well, I don't know. That's, I don't know if I'm a mean girl. I think I just tell it like it is, it is what it is.
I really do think that people now that Housewives is different now than it was even 2 years ago. And I think people are so sick of the smoke and mirrors and this person's wealthy. And here's Jen Shaw on her way to jail possibly. Yep. And people are sick of all this bullshit. Just be real. Be fucking real.
Be real. Nobody wants fake storylines. And if you don't have a storyline, then you just got to go with the flow. You got to be you. Like I saw Melissa on some podcast carrying on. Why do we always have to have storylines? Why does there have to be drama? Well, that's what Housewives is about.
That was kind of the real start of our friendship. It was just like, okay. we like each other. Now she was coming up in the Housewives world. It was her first season. And she just... So we got together a bunch after that. Now, let me tell you, 99% of the time that we got together, it was at her house. Now, I'm not crying woe is me because no one forced me to go. But looking back, what was I doing as a single gay man living in New York City, trekking my ass out to Columbus, New Jersey?
Thank you. Put my 2 cents in. I'm like, if somebody, first of all, you know me, I'm not big on going to people's houses. That's not my cup of tea. If I'm going to be somewhere, it's going to be in my own house or I'm going to a restaurant. That's it. Don't invite me to your house. I'm not coming. Everybody knows that. And I don't do barbecues. Yeah.
There was a lot. There was barbecues, there was kids, there was everything.
No. Oh, no. Absolutely not. I am allergic to mosquitoes. No. Go ahead. He seems like I never met him face to face, but he seems like a very nice guy.
The joke that you go over and he's nowhere to be found and he's out back in that pool house. It's true. He's out there. So, but again, who the hell am I to judge anybody's marriage? Because I'm going to die alone at this point. Right. So I'm not, right. It was her first season. She had these strange visions of I'm going to roll you out as my gay BFF. That was her. Right. And I don't mean... I doubt that ever would have happened on the show. They all tell you you're going to be on the show. It's all bullshit.
Of course.
But it was more in the public eye. And she said to me, direct quote, I've always wanted a gay BFF. Oh my God. She said things like, I can't believe that a housewife never came along and scooped you up and you're so available. I was a little token gay.
Yes, 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 yes.
These are direct quotes. These are hand to God direct
Okay.
quotes. Like, I can't
Okay, I
believe,
believe you.
right? Like, I can't believe a housewife never scooped you up. You're going to be my token little gay. You know, listen, you look at me and you in the beginning, I was friends with you and I was going to things where Teresa was. I was going to things where Melissa was. And,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely. I never questioned. It's none of my
no,
business. I never question that.
no.
I would never question that.
And I'm like a vault. So, but it got to something, things were happening. And this was also on air at the point where she was really starting to fight with Margaret, period.
People should know one thing. I made David and we do not accept threats or ultimatums. Bottom line, we don't take kindly to that. So let me ask you a question. Why do you think Rulaha's face is burgundy?
And then I have to ask you about your phone call with Dolores afterwards.
Yes. Yeah. And what about that he said that one of his fiancés took a butcher knife and knifed her husband? What? I mean, what is up with this? And then the scroll of all the things. Like, if I was ever invited to like a boat like that with the music playing, I mean, I've been romanced and I've been, there's chivalry in my life.
And, Joe Gorga has been speaking out. I don't know where he said this, but just in the past 24 hours, he said, which is a good point. He's like, imagine if Jennifer called Teresa's father a crook. Imagine if he called Teresa's daughters a crook. Imagine if he called the mother. He's like, anyone else.
Imagine if he called Louise. Imagine if he called Louise a crook.
And he did this with Vanessa and the others. He did this love bombing where it was all this romance and everything. I mean, has Tracy Johnson watched The Real Housewives of New Jersey? This girl's got some balls.
Yes, she did.
This girl has some fucking balls on her. Whereas, like, you look at Melissa, if Joe Gorga did something, Melissa, the bags would be packed and Joe, the doors would be locked and Joe Gorga's shit would be down the street 5 houses away, right?
Okay, well, the only thing I think, and I'm not being mean in saying this is my opinion, people. My opinion. Okay. I think they got a real marriage and all that. But my opinion is, I talked to Dolores, by the way. Talked to Dolores and I said, what's up with Jen? Dolores, so this is the real deal.
You talked to her like a day or two ago, right?
Day or two ago. Dolores, what is up with you and Jen? She goes, I have no idea what I did or what I said wrong. She said, I called Jen and said, what's the problem between us? And Jen just said blatantly.
So we're about to detail this phone call explicitly. We break it all down. What Dolores told Kim when they just spoke the other day. And it's all about Dolores' phone call with Jennifer. What Jennifer told Dolores as far as the status of their friendship. What Dolores said in response to that. We love a secret phone call, guys. So head on over to Patreon. I'm obsessed with this phone call between Dolores and Jen, which Dolores then told Kim. Now Kim is telling us. So I also bring up, like, let's discuss, like, does Dolores know you're here today on this lovely Saturday, telling all of these wonderful Patreons of Behind the Velvet Rope exactly what happened on your phone call? Because we all know Dolores is going to call me once this now comes out. So I just want to know, and Kim, of course, now has a whole explanation for that. So head on over to Patreon, talk more about my breakup with Jennifer, which housewives did involved, and just what went on this past week on RHONJ. Happy Saturday.